Hello and welcome in, friends, to the next episode of my single player series. I've gotten the stuff required and I learned how those work, so I wasn't certain, now I am. I got understanding as to the fact that they do not grow any lower than that, and the fact that I'm just gonna leave this one the way it is. I'm not gonna keep growing it. I'm okay to keep going here. I also didn't know if they ended up going any further down depth-wise, so it was also a test on my part to have this area with a hole in it, so that I had a bigger idea as to what was all going on and how it all worked. But now that this area has walls, it'll just be time to detail it. These torches can get it temporarily out of the way. I got some stuff gathered. I think just getting a few minor... I'm using end tables because they're a little bit smaller. Same thing as these dining benches, because then it feels like I have a bit more space that I can work with. And given that there's not really much space to work with in general, just trying to do what I can. Right, I need to go grab green cushions, although I think white will work just fine in this area. And so far it's actually turning out quite nicely. I feel like we're gonna need some sort of lamp in this corner, which can be done with... I should have some fence materials. And here's the fences, and then we just need to get some sort of glowing block for the top. Which, sure, good enough. Either one of these. I feel like that is possibly a good lamp. Probably better than that. It's definitely gonna pop because it's more those warm orange tones that really stand out against the blue, but I think in the terms of the room, it does add a lot. Gives the people the space they need if they're working here, because then they have a little bit of space to sit down and still the space to move. And then I feel like we just need a planter box here. And getting to the planter box next, if I can put stuff where it's not gonna bother me. We had spruce trapdoors and we still have those. I feel like I'm just gonna do the same thing, but slightly bigger. Just cause why not? Except I think I'm gonna use moss here. I could do either or now if I'm using moss, but I think it would be best to have it bordered. And it really does help fill in the room a lot with that. The ceiling's gonna have to come down a whole block, which that'll be something we're made to deal with in a moment. Okay, what was I? Yeah. If I'm going to be using stuff from the mod, I don't know why the blue orchids are in here, because they aren't part of the mod, but I might as well use some flowers from the mod and other weird stuff that might... Let's grow a sawblade holly if I can, and just plant crops from the mod. Can't plant the sawblade holly. Dang it. This is gonna be the way it is. That's gonna be the way I prefer to have it. I think the sawblade holly has very specific ground that it has to grow on, unfortunately. So then I just have to decide the roof. I have spent about 15 seconds in my bag and saw this from the last project and was just like, that'll more than do what we need. And then I can use the slabs to just fill in the area that was around that plant to make it look like it's a lot more part of the room. And then clean up. And I'm really loving the way that this room has come together. And because of that light, these torches aren't needed, this one won't be needed, and this one won't be needed either. Now, if I want to, I can possibly... Yep, that works. Just break the ground underneath. I think the sweet pea does glow, yes. So if we switch the sweet pea and the dragon tooth bush, there we go. We got a bit more light on this side, and it's a lot better off. So I think I'm gonna call that quits for the servants' quarters. Now, I know that we had a little bit of this altar last time, but I think that I wanted to get the kindlings, or the kindlings, whichever one it is, and those ones are nothing that I can really do without this. Oh. Come on, put the 4. Was that everything? It's 8, not 1. Alright, well, just like that. Alright, well, it crafted me 1. I just didn't realize it because I got these upgrades on it that retain more of the materials, which is really nice. So I have a kindling now that I can place pretty much wherever, and so we'll have to put that down at some point, because that'll be an interesting thing. I'll just want to fence it off so that I have a general idea as to what kind of creature it might be. I have this tower that isn't going to be used for much of anything for a while, so if we just... Yep, it's definitely doing something. So just fence it off and just wait. Now I might be moving a little bit fast, but I don't mind that. I'm gonna get the base of the walls, the interior walls of the castle in, probably to a certain point. I'm just gonna get the general idea of them going, and then I'll figure out from there. Because at this point, getting the walls up is one of the main steps that's going to help me figure out what the rest of the castle is going to look like. Alright, so I got the wall about half done here. It's been pretty quick. I just wanted to bring you guys back because it's starting to look nice. I'm just a little bit uncertain as to how, because that's about right there. I got the walls that we saw last episode brought all the way around, and then to about this point in which I'm going to bring a tower all the way up. But I was a little bit uncertain as to how we were gonna want this to proceed, because it's gonna take a minute to complete all this, and wanted to make sure I brought you guys along with me for a little bit of it, because it's looking really basic, but I got an arch there. I'm gonna have to do some terraforming to get the path a little bit more manageable to go up and down, but just making sure that I get something like that in all the areas, making sure that when I dig out areas like this, I'm making sure that I'm keeping the actual building itself quite supported, as it will look a little bit tacky if it's just placed directly on the dirt, and just trying to go bit by bit, making sure that the castle is finishing up nicely. And the only other thing is, getting an exterior means some of the interior is going to look exceptionally out of place, especially if I build the exterior around some of the interior, but not all of it. So it's just one of those where it's like, doing what I can with what I've got. Bringing you along for as much of it as I can make reasonably entertaining. I do find it to just be relaxing to be placing so many blocks, but I think you guys have seen enough of me placing lots and lots of blocks, so I will wrap this up, and we'll come back after this is completely done to the point in which it's flat, because through pastel there is a way to switch blocks from one type to another, so it just makes this a lot less of a hassle. Because if I have the blocks in my inventory and the ink, whatever it is that I want this to end up being, it can be. So if I don't like the stone, it can be replaced with andesite pretty easily. Same thing can come along for textures, and so I just want to make sure that I end up going far enough in pastel that I can actually see it in the crafting recipes. So that's just one of the other things that we're going to try and work on in one of either, if not this episode, one of the upcoming episodes. Well, seems like I left myself a little bit of a message in between. I ended up taking a break for a few minutes after getting this structure done, and there we go. The enchanter's set up, so when I'm ready to get fancy enchanting versions, get an enchantment past level 3 on some of them and 5 on others, I can do that here. I fixed our problem. So this enchantment canvas allows us to temporarily take away the enchantments and switch them over. It's just the issue is, now I either have Treasure Hunter 3 or I have all my enchantments. So I just need to make another diamond sword and combine them. So, I just got this other diamond sword that I just stole the smite off onto the enchantment canvas for now. Now it's got Treasure Hunter. So, that's my issue. It's either Treasure Hunter or it's Looting 3. So in other words, I'm gonna need to get all my other enchants on this sword too. Or I take the Treasure Hunter and I just make a separate sword for beheading. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Well, I just killed the salmon and got its head, and now I got a lot, and I mean a lot of information for creating life. This is the one that I think would be amazing. I just have to get these heads real quick, and then I can probably bring the egg-laying woolly pig back to life. So, there we go. I gathered all this stuff for 2, because what's better than 1? And also, if I can duplicate them, I might as well try. Oh, there we go. Big boom. Then the vegetable. There we go. Then, next up is just getting these guys into a memory form using amaranth and vegetal. Made it over here, and in one of my last projects I realized I can just spam a bunch of this at once. That would explain it. If I can put it all in, there we go. This should craft 2, one right after the other. And then, to get it to be quiet afterward, I can just put a weapon in there. There we go. Oh, did it? Oh no. There it is. I have my 2 memories. And I could leave the spare in here. I could keep it with me either or. I was planned. Accidentally right-clicked one of them and got stuff. So, may manifest the next few days. Well, there really is nowhere for me to trap them just yet. So I'm gonna get some fences and... Or we can just put them back in here just like earlier. And then if I find... There it is. Jungle fence, they shouldn't escape. The only thing that I fear is whether or not they will suffocate. So just in case, we can go like this. Yeah, I have brown shoulder bugs. I don't know what to do with it. Anyway, we'll just wait for those to grow up. And there's one of them. Oh, you're unique. No, don't escape. Crap. Stop leaving me. I'm not ready for you to leave. I think it'll grow wool. I don't. I presume it'll grow wool, lay eggs, and all the other things. Okay, that was unfortunate. Can we... Thank you. I need you to stay in there. So it acts like a sheep. Interesting. Well, we have the woolly egg-laying pigs. Cool. So, one of them has grown up and already laid an egg. I have a minor conflict with the fact that this has happened, just for the fact that I don't exactly have a place to store them. I did as I talked about, got this cleaned up just barely, and I was thinking this might actually be a good area if I wanted to set up a pen. Probably about that wide. Do I want... Sure, that seems tall enough there. Then we do a flat roof, kind of like this style here, except... Do I want... Okay, let's find my slabs. We'll do more verdant bricks, because everything here seems to need to be green. And just due to the fact of the way that I do this, I'm gonna need some of this, probably temporarily put that one away. Okay. There we go. And the roof's already starting to come together quite nicely. At least what I hope to be the roof decision. Given that this is bound to be for animals, it doesn't need to be that intense. Just a nice open roof. Yeah. And then possibly even a beam across here. That's too high up. Dang it. Where's those spruce slabs I was looking at? I don't have enough, but with the stairs I might. So let's put stairs facing downward, and then some slabs across. That seems like it could work. Just something like that. Yeah. Gives it a shape. Some sort of shape for it to work with. And then after that... Oh, I put it in the wrong bag. Dang it. It's a little bit later at night right now. Not exactly used to working this late. Okay. Now, I think we can be fine with grass as the main block. I just wasn't completely certain, so I terraformed it out. Given that they're gonna need to eat a lot of grass, that's gonna be an important block choice. And then we can use stripped dark oak here. There's gonna be a lot of stripped wood as the base. In fact, I think I'm just gonna quickly go make some dark oak fences instead of jungle to give it a little bit more contrast, because I feel like it's missing that. I don't think I'm gonna do any fence gates, just fences themselves and only on this side. Just with the size that it is, this will be a pretty okay entrance in. And then, of course, my inventory's so full. That one can also go away. Part of my inventory being full is my fault. I'm very great at keeping my inventory full at all times. And then on this side, we can actually even do, probably actually up to here. Is this... If I do another... So the A-frame up here, A-frame, the basic roof shape there. And then if we do like a smaller roof coming off on this one, this will need to be like this. I don't think that this will be too bad. And then it runs into the wall as well, and then I'll just bring the wall down. I do think this building is just about done on the basic details. We don't have the roof all the way in. It doesn't need a complete roof. Then the main thing is lights, so just adding torches in inconspicuous places like that, and then possibly just on the inside of the wall for now, because I'm going to, now that I have it planned out, I can just shred the old wall. And then jungle is an in-between plank. I think it's too similar to the oak though, so there are a few options. I like the cut dripstone, but I think we're going for a lot of that elsewhere, but it shouldn't matter. This color is just kind of a, as we get to it. The brown is definitely a side detail, and I'm okay with that. And then because the way that the wall works, there will be that. Oh, were there any... There were like 2 or 3 spruce slabs. Let's do probably 2 spruce slabs. That can go away. Because if I do 2 spruce slabs, I can do something like this. In fact, I could even rotate it. I honestly think just 1 spruce slab will be enough. And then go for 2 trapdoors. Switch it up. Of course, that's empty. That'll give it the arch, and then I can just put the torch back and 1 back up here. And then that should be the rest of the wall. So then it's just going up. And then this block can go away, and then my inventory is nearly as clean as it will be. And honestly, I probably could have put the egg-laying woolly pigs in. Man, is that a mouthful to say. Anyways, Crumb, you 2 are not supposed to go there. Let's just get as much of this one in as I can get. I think I have more of the brick slabs, or at least the brick version themselves, that I just need to convert into slabs. Because I just need 3 slabs. I don't have... Never mind, I have more bricks in here. And that evens out my number in there and keeps this pretty happy. And then the only other thing is, I used up all my torches in there. Kind of want neither of these torches, possibly even just for now go a torch here and a torch here just to keep it lit up, because I just got the basics of this one in. Yeah, I'm gonna need some sort of light here, but that's not gonna be bad. And then I do have wool or carpet of some form. Sure, And then, because of the way that this is done, it should hopefully work. We can always test that. Not here, but maybe in the center? Yeah. I can get across in the center and that won't matter for the mobs. And then wool gain, and it also lays eggs. And if I remember right, yep, milk. This pig is crazy. It's just all of it. Well, unfortunately, we've ran out of time for the episode. But hey, we ended up with egg-laying woolly pigs that I can also milk. I don't know what happened here. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!